Some messages refuse to stay buried. In the shadows of our quiet, unassuming towns, there are stories that defy explanation, mysteries that linger long after the headlines have faded. Tonight, we delve into one such case story where a string of brutal murders was preceded by cryptic letters, messages that seemed to come from the other side. This is the chilling true story of the letters from the dead. Imagine a town where everyone knows each other, where front doors are left unlocked and children play freely in the streets. It's the kind of idyllic setting you see in old movies. But that peace was shattered one cold autumn evening. When the first body was discovered, the shock was palpable. But it wasn't just the crime that horrified the community. It was the letter found at the scene. Handwritten, cryptic, and deeply unsettling, it seemed to mock the investigators, hinting at a darkness that had taken root in their peaceful town. Soon, a terrifying pattern emerged. Every subsequent crime, each more horrifying than the last, was linked by these letters. Sometimes they would appear before the act, a chilling prediction of the horror to come. Other times they were found at the scene, describing the event in gruesome detail before the authorities had even pieced together what happened. The town was paralyzed by fear. Mailboxes, once a symbol of connection, became objects of dread. Police tape became a grim, familiar sight. The letters were no longer just clues. They were a harbinger of doom. Investigators from local, state, and even federal agencies meticulously documented every single piece of correspondence. The letters themselves were a study in terror. Some were short, just a few sentences scribbled in a strange, almost illegible hand. Others were more elaborate, filled with bizarre symbols, ominous warnings, and phrases that seemed to be inside jokes with the victims themselves, secrets only they could understand. Court documents and FBI records, which we've reviewed for this story, confirmed their authenticity. These weren't hoaxes. They were real, and they painted a portrait of a mastermind who was always one step ahead, a phantom who communicated through paper and ink. The investigation was one of the largest in the state's history. Authorities worked around the clock, chasing down every possible lead. They interviewed neighbors, friends, and family, searching for any hint of a motive, any disgruntled acquaintance, any secret that could explain the bloodshed. Handwriting experts analyzed the strange script, hoping to find a match in their databases. Forensic teams scoured the paper for DNA, fingerprints, any microscopic trace left behind by the author. But every avenue led to a dead end. The letters were clean, the handwriting was untraceable, and the leads vanished into thin air. The messenger remained a ghost, and the letters became a symbol of pure, unadulterated terror, a voice from an unfathomable darkness. With no official answers, speculation ran rampant. The public's imagination filled the vacuum left by the stalled investigation. Was this the work of a single, brilliant killer playing a cat-and-mouse game with the police? Or was it a coordinated effort by a cult performing some dark ritual? The theories grew wilder and more desperate. Some whispered that the source wasn't human at all, that something supernatural was at play. To this day, online forums and Reddit threads are filled with amateur detectives dissecting every word, every symbol, hoping to crack the code that stumped the professionals. But no definitive answers have ever surfaced. The case remains open, a scar on the town's history, and the letters continue to haunt the imagination of true crime enthusiasts around the world. What made the letters so terrifying wasn't just the threats they contained, but their uncanny precision. They knew details they shouldn't have known. They predicted events with chilling accuracy. One letter, sent to a local newspaper, detailed the exact location and time of the next crime, daring the police to stop it. By the time they arrived, it was already too late. It was as if the author was watching from everywhere and nowhere at once. This created a level of psychological terror that was in some ways more damaging than the crimes themselves. No one felt safe. The community that had once been built on trust was now shattered by paranoia. Neighbor eyed neighbor with suspicion. A simple glance from a stranger could send a shiver down your spine. Years passed. The active investigation wound down, but the fear never truly went away. The case files grew thick with reports, transcripts, and dead-end leads. The letters themselves are now stored away in an evidence locker, silent testaments to a mystery that refuses to be solved. They are a chilling reminder that sometimes evil is not just an act, but a voice that can reach out from the shadows, sow chaos, and then disappear without a trace. These letters prove that some messages, whether from the darkest corners of the human mind or from somewhere beyond our understanding, cannot be silenced. So if you ever find a strange, anonymous letter waiting for you, one that sends an unexplainable shiver down your spine, remember this story. Remember the town that was held hostage by ink and paper, because some messengers and the terror they bring never truly leave. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoy spine-chilling true crime stories like this one, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. And we have to ask, what would you do? If a letter like this arrived at your door, would you dare to read it? Let us know in the comments below. Stay safe and stay vigilant.